We're glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. Time now for the Kickstarter discussion, and over the next 30 minutes we'll be looking at events as they happened yesterday when the security forces, described as a cocktail of JAT, military police, as well as the regular police, meted what is now widely condemned as unacceptable violence against supporters of the National Unity Platform. With me in the studio is the Deputy Spokesperson for the National Unity Platform, Alex Waisomufumbiro, joining us for this discussion. A very warm welcome.
Very humbled to be here, Chris. It's always a privilege. Surviving.
Surviving?
Yeah, surviving.
What should I read into that?
It's not very easy now to be a Ugandan and be proud to be a Ugandan, because there is now a particular and systematic run after us from the state as a political party for the last, I think, 2 months practically, but then it's now getting out in action by the security forces themselves. First it was isolated with a few people. You know that 2 weeks back, I nearly survived abduction because I was put on gunpoint, but by the grace of God, they did not have at the time enough manpower to have me and Chairman Nyanzi at the same time. Being a little younger and faster, I took the latter of the Dorcas's Koro theory. Otherwise, we don't know whether I would be here able to speak or not. So it is surviving.
We come into the Kickstarter interview on the backdrop of events in the last 24 hours or so that are nothing to write home about, especially in light of the amount of violence that happened between supporters of the National Unity Platform and the security forces. I will be coming, or rather delving into that very shortly, but allow me ask the question. There was a parade that was held just over 3 weeks ago where the principal of the National Unity Platform, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, and a host of other officials appeared to inspect a guard of honor. And videos that were shared on social media depicted a pseudo-military outfit singing to songs, including revolutionary songs that were sung by members of the National Resistance Army in the events that followed the capture of power by the NRA in 1986. Shortly after that incident, a post rather, because it's now X, by the Chief of Defense Forces, or an account that operates in the name of the Chief of Defense Forces, condemned the action, the parade, and the imitation of a military establishment. I do not know whether that is the start of an escalation. If I may ask, what informs the outfit and the mannerisms of some of the operatives, not operatives, but members of the National Unity Platform, that borders on the military?
It's amazing that our country has degenerated into this type of bigotry, because it's bigotry, and in defining the people behind the bigotry, there would be bigots, but at the expense of not being callous, I will talk about the bigotry of the regime and the oligarch onto the people of the National Unity Platform. When you talk about military outfit, First of all, there is nothing that members of the National Unity Platform don that is militaristic. We all know Timberland shoes. We all know these camouflage shoes. First of all, they are not banned from being imported in Uganda, and they do not even have a copyright or patent right to the military. Our military have a special outfit decorated with specificities, and it is glaring. Overalls are not military outfits.
Maybe let's be very specific.
The color of our overall is red. There is nothing in the military fatigue of Uganda that is color red. There's nothing. You will remind me. There's nothing. There's nothing in our military outfit that is overall. That is why I say that this is all.
The Air Force puts on overalls.
The
Air Force.
The Air Force. No.
Especially pilots and flight engineers.
The engineers. And that's where I was coming. Just like you will go to Total petrol station and you will find them putting on overalls to do the service work. You will go to Chiseka Market. You will go to wherever you will go, because this is outfit that will assist somebody remain intact from wherever the body is covered with the overall, and then they will go on with their business. Some of them put it on as style. Others choose to put it on the way they want to put it on. So even us to discuss style as something that catches the eye of somebody occupying an office that is engulfed with a lot of strictness, but also challenges on having a professional force to get to how people are dressing up in town, something that has been already discussed, elucidated upon substantively by the society and by all the legal mind, that actually this paraphernalia is not militaristic. However, even if it was,
what informs the insignia? Even if there is insignia on these overalls, and insignia that depicts the strips and the pips of the military.
No. One,
how
the umbrella,
much of fashion is that?
The umbrella is not a fashion.
That is one thing. The insignia,
the people power emblem is not accustomed to the military.
Okay.
The beautiful picture of Chagulanyi Robert Centam on some overalls is not accustomed to the military. The naming of people power on those overalls is not accustomed to the military. And these other colors are national colors. Uganda is, our flag is black, yellow, red.
The reason I insist on this,
yes, as you're insisting,
insignia, let's leave the color alone. There is insignia on the National Unity Platform overalls that depicts a ranking system.
Now that, for example, do you know that in the military, every level has a particular stone that is added on you? It is not just the way you see it. A general does not put on the same as a lieutenant colonel. However, are you telling me now where is that? Where is the insignia? That is just colors of the national flag. You can see it is manifested. But even if you went for that other style where people choose to put buttons, some of them even put buttons of Gomeses, others put buttons of different shades of. It is style. And I think it was Winston Churchill or Thomas Jefferson, one of the two, who said that when those in government fight against style of the population, then the center can no longer hold. It is only true that whatever you're seeing now, what is militaristic about our president's dress? It is what pains them. What they suffer from is our ability to organize our ability to have style, our ability, despite the suffocation, the continuation of this revolution, because it is dictated upon us. You see, a revolution is a dictatorship of the exploited against the exploiters. Now, when they see this zeal, this style, this organization, this capacity building, this continuation of the young people to join the forces despite the brutality, because there has been despicable brutality by the forces to annihilate the young people and Ugandans from rallying against what should be ended, the impunity and the bigotry of the oligarchs. So what disturbs them is, despite the high-handedness, this has continued to propel forward.
Let me ask the question, in light of the parade that was conducted by the principal and some officials of the National Unity Platform, what informed the choice of imitation of Revolutionary War songs, especially those that were sung by the National
I want you to understand that we are at war.
Army.
We are at war as a country.
So what you're stating is that you accept to be a belligerent against the military.
No, we are not belligerent against the military. The military serves Ugandans. Yes, we are forces that are liberating our country, because definitely this is the real liberation.
There is creative militancy,
yes,
and imitation of the military. The National Unity Platform has chosen imitation of the military.
We are not imitating. No, those are foot soldiers. Those are not army officers.
Imitation.
Those are foot soldiers. And if it was imitation, they would never.
And maybe you're inviting a feel of what the military does.
They would never be foot soldiers. No,
and in the process,
there would be something different. There would never be foot soldiers, and we are alive to that.
The reason I'm dwelling on this is that many times the semantics of popular resistance do bring into the line of fire those that see themselves as pseudo-revolutionaries, and including National Unity Platform at around this time. But you have a huge following that might not understand the dynamics at play, including the political science itself. And these are lives of young boys and girls who, as a result of the collective enthusiasm that the National Unity Platform offers, puts them in harm's way or in a direct confrontation with the military that you have a history of, understanding of, that won't act as calmly or restrain itself, and then you choose to do or go ahead with that provocation. What does that speak of the leadership of the National Unity Platform?
Julius Caesar, we have all read Julius Caesar, he said that the love of honor must overcome the fear of death. And the notion in that statement is that these people, led by the generation of vision bearer, are on a trajectory of liberation, of the third liberation of themselves as a generation first. But most importantly, they are willing to pay the price. You see, at a time when a system and an oligarch, a dictatorship, is on its pedestal, surrounded with bayonet and guns, truncheons of police, and their existentiality is on the brutality of the citizenry, then it is only a commandment to the citizenry to overcome their fear and spell for honor for the liberation of their country. These young people are faced with the realities of life, and the realities of life are clear: unemployment, isolation, marginalization, among others. And you will not the gun, not the bayonet, will stop them from liberating themselves. We are only chauffeurs, leaders of the revolution. Today I can be dead, another one will come up, because there are ideas that are propelling this discontent against the dictatorship. The desire for one to be free is unequivocal. Jefferson said that the only city that one can be in is a city that is free. And if you decide to oppress people in their own lives without them having their own choice, without choice on anything, be it education, be it employment, be it growth, be it direction of policy, if these people are suffocated, they will definitely rise up no matter the cost. And that is why I started that the love of honor will always overcome the love of fear, just as it was described by Julius Caesar.
Is there a conversation within the National Unity Platform to reconsider, not a military conversation, to reconsider the modus operandi in going forward, especially given the realities at stake? The violence that happened yesterday, described by the police as a confrontation between supporters and the security forces, but widely seen, especially by those that captured the videos and the pictures, as an unwarranted high-handedness on the part of the security forces. This must be something that allows for the leadership within the National Unity Platform to rethink about a strategy. Has that conversation happened?
Asking us to rethink the strategy is asking us to become militant. Because
dialogue more?
Because never in our expectations did we think that the criminal regime would descend to fighting us with our own force. Yesterday yourself, you said that it was a cocktail of security operatives. Some of us are not yet sure even whether it is security operatives. There is a notion, citizens may think, that we might even have been attacked by the M23. Because, yes, because these people are hooded. Security operatives are hooded. It has not happened. That is a hooded man, you can see, wielding a gun, not behaving anyhow professionally. Ugandans are not certain whether this is M23. Because the insignia that is on that uniform that you have been telling, you look at what is happening. Look at what is happening to our country. Look at what is happening to the citizenry. That is a nominated member of parliament. That is a journalist. Now, even the high-handedness is not professional. Those
are very disturbing images, and the police says they will be addressing the media shortly
they should
for an explanation. But let me ask, what happened in the run-up to this particular confrontation? The National Unity Platform was supposed to go on a procession to Kawempe, where the rally was supposed to happen. What was the directive like? Were you guys advised? Was the National Unity Platform advised by security not to do a procession and went ahead with a procession?
The advice that they have for us is that we are not supposed, we are not citizens, we don't deserve to participate in anything in this country.
Did you ask for directives on how the procession would roll out?
This is a program that has been rolled out by the so-called Independent Electoral Commission. You have not had a statement from them.
The Electoral Commission,
they will tell you that that is not their business. You see, in the run-up to the 2021 election, Justice Byabakama told the country that he was not aware of what was happening, yet the leading presidential candidate in those campaigns, the polling, the one who was in the lead of the polls by opinion poll and existence of whatever was on ground was His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. But the chairperson of the Electoral Commission noted that he had not seen what was going on because his TV had not been subscribed to. And yet, in the budget, that money was provided for. Up to now, he has not spoken. Before we discuss the archaic, backward anarchy that was orchestrated yesterday, there is what happened on nomination day. A candidate, Narukola, a lawyer of human rights, an advocate, not militaristic at all. He was donning a checked shirt and a trouser. he was pulled from, he was told to leave, stopped from taking his car. He decided to walk home. They stopped him from walking home. He ran for his life to take a boda boda home. Then M23 presupposed, because we don't know who they are, pulled him from the boda boda down to the ground on the corners, and then he was hit like they were hitting an animal, because even animals can no longer be hit the way human beings. That is Nalkola, by being pulled off by a person like an M23, because President Kagame told us that they are trained here, and that we have not rebutted. And the CDF tweeted the same, that they have interest with M23. Look, this cannot be our professional force. Having a pride in doing that, torturing, that is a journalist. The country must understand that that's not a politician. We cannot accept our nation to descend to this sheer madness of longevity of a dictatorship. If they want, just like Archbishop Semogere noted, let them take away this democracy. Let people find the real option to take them on. You are asking us whether we have sat and rethought. Our stance on this country is that we want to liberate this country without any shed of blood. And the blood being shed now is on the hands of the junta. It is on the hands of the oligarch. And we have stated firmly, Muada, as I speak now, he is abducted. He's a member of parliament. Honorable Nyeko, he's abducted. He's a member of parliament. We have ladies who were butchered by those men in supposedly something like our uniform. So what is the redress strategy right now in light of what happened yesterday? I do acknowledge, and this one I must be very candid, I do acknowledge the high-handedness that was meted, especially on the candidate who was duly nominated for the Kawempe North by-election, and that violence coming in there from what appears to be JAT operatives. The journalist who is seen bleeding profusely there is, of course, one that was doing their job, and of course we continue to condemn the actions of the forces against journalists who are simply doing their job. Earlier in our point of reflection, I spoke about whether these kind of actions are critical to the key performance indicators of the force and for soldiers as individuals. We do hope that, as promised, the spokesperson of Kampala Metropolitan Police and indeed the Uganda Police Force should be able to give us a statement today and clarify on some of these actions. But the Electoral Commission has spoken, and the Daily Monitor quotes Mr. Julius Muchunguzi, the Commission's spokesperson, as saying that there should be no reason why security forces should unleash violence against duly nominated candidates who are clear to campaign by the Commission. He goes on to say, and is quoted, "What I can tell you is that the Commission would like to see a peaceful atmosphere in the campaign process for the Kawempe by-election, and our candidates and the candidates that were nominated by the Electoral Commission have got the liberty to go to places where they're supposed to be according to the campaign roadmap." If I were to ask for the roadmap provided by the Electoral Commission, especially on processions and the campaign venues for each candidate at one point in time, is there any kind of lack of uniformity or order in who should be where at one point in time? No. So much so that clashes are likely to occur? There are no clashes. It is just the security forces sat and toppled the democracy and toppled the election. The election is in the hands of security forces. And we are told that being that she's a daughter of Alhaji Moses Chigongo, that is why they will do everything. That is in reference to possible. The NRM candidate, the NRA candidate. They will do everything, whether she's voted, whether she's not, and this is what they are saying in the constituents. They are going to take it by force. Now, these are allowed to do whatever they are doing, and what is very unfortunate, to talk about style, to remind you about style, just in a few minutes or seconds. The NRA candidate, that is an overall. Are you seeing that? That is an overall. It is a yellow overall.
There is something
now, the NRA candidate was nominated in an overall. Now, these people, it clearly shows you that they see what we do. They are in love with what we do. They want to be us, but they are engulfed in fear. They are living in blackmail of the oligarch, thinking that an 80-year, 40-year misrule will continue in this country, even when they feel the reality. She nominated in an overall, as she was nominating. And for us, we are not supposed, we are being wounded, pounded, just for putting on an overall and a beret. And these people do the same, they copycat us, and then for them they are allowed to do it their own way. And that is very, very unfortunate, and that is what is criminal, and that is what is paradoxical.
Have you made
that is what is unacceptable.
In light of the events last evening and much of the afternoon, have you made a formal complaint, or have you sought redress from the force to explain those actions? Or
Chris, the unfortunate part of what I have told the country is that we are not treated as Ugandans.
So you don't see the need to even seek
even when
redress?
You do. As I speak now, we have members of parliament that were arrested, taken out of their vehicles, because we are, as a group, as that's why I started with the word bigotry. We are isolated. We are seen as outsiders in our own country. And what is painful is that sometimes those who see you as outsiders are actual outsiders. Now you fight.
What do you mean?
You fight as I sounded.
What do you mean?
I mean, we are treated as foreigners, and yet some of those that are treating us this way actually look like foreigners. Now, how can you explain somebody who has covered his or herself wielding a gun in your country? Because in our country, the laws are clear that a security officer, a police officer, one by constitution, is supposed to keep law and order, safeguard people and their property and their interests, work with civilian authority in dispensing and protecting human life. These are taking life. In the rules of security, now, world all over, one's uniform must have his name inscribed on the uniform. Do we have this here? These are mercenaries. These are mercenaries toppling democracy. These are mercenaries that have taken us through a coup d'etat against our own constitution.
I'm told the National Unity Platform Party Secretary General, Louis Rubongoya, and a team of lawyers are currently at Wandegeya Police Station.
Yeah.
Our own Stephen Mbide is there to follow up on the arrests, but also what will be happening today in terms of the various avenues of redress and any other actions that could be taken in order to address this very, very emotive and no doubt significant event with regard to what will be happening over the next a few months in the run-up to the 2026 general election. We shall be joining Stephen Mbide very shortly, as soon as the feed is with us. Let me continue with Mr. Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro. The political landscape appears to be more like preparing what will happen later as we inch closer to 2026 general election. I do not know whether the state of affairs can be reined in by exercising restraint on both parties. One would ask, what kind of restraint do you ask of the National Unity Platform? You have, as leaders, the mandate to first and foremost simply not be seen to, but actually ask that your supporters work within the set roadmaps and directives that are offered by the security forces. The security forces usually are very quick to play the card that the other party has either tried to digress from a directive or two, or simply doesn't want order to reign. and because the authority and the mandate is there, you can anticipate what is going to happen. In light of that, do you think going on in a confrontational manner, one that of course is something you also take pride in most of the speeches that the leaders do give, isn't there the need, especially for the safety of your supporters, to restrain yourselves?
First of all, restrain against what? What do we stand for? We stand for democracy. We stand for rule of law. We stand for respect of human life and dignity. Now, for as long as we stand for that, it is very difficult to shift us from our understanding of what we are fighting for.
Okay.
If you look at the story,
just a moment, let's see. We have a situation there. It appears like our very own Stephen Mbide is being hounded and confronted by the police. Those are very, very disturbing images there happening right now. Let's just go live to...
That's a journalist.
Stephen Mbide appears to be in trouble as he was preparing to bring us that live report from Wandegea police station, where some of the leaders of the National Unity Platform are currently stationed in light of the arrests of members of parliament as well as leaders of the opposition. Let's follow closely.
Wow.
News. He's not at any one time threatening the officers. Where the Secretary General of the National Unity Platform, and in fact we saw him earlier, were there or are at Wandegea police station to follow up on the fate of some of those officials and supporters of the National Unity Platform. And those events are nothing to write home about. We would like to condemn in the strongest possible terms the violence that is being meted on our very own, and indeed all other journalists in the coverage of news. What we do believe is that the police can and must be seen to restrain itself. The tendency to resort to violence as the very first act when confronted with either a person that is not following directives. Billions of taxpayers' money is spent on training a police officer to be calm and to operate within the confines of the law, including being able to bring to calm and order any one person that might be either violent or wayward in action. One thing we are certain about is that Stephen Mbide was not wayward. He doesn't have the ability to act against any directive that has been given unto him. Let's now listen in. Good morning, Stephen. Very unfortunate what has just happened to you.
Yes, good morning to you. It's been tough here from around 7:30. In fact, from 8. We know that the people who were arrested yesterday by the security operatives when the NUP candidate for Kawempe North was proceeding towards Kawempe for his campaigns. Many people were arrested and dumped here at the Wandegea police station. When I came here with my identification, some of police officers knew that I was a journalist, but others felt that I shouldn't capture whatever is here. But here at Wandegea, we had a small scuffle, as you've seen on NTV with them. That was earlier on. But for now, security is now manning the entrance of Wandegea police station. Let me now engage the Secretary General of National Unity Platform, Council David Lewis Wongoya is here. He's trying to at least see that either gets these people released, but also those who were beaten seek medical attention. And I know there are also some members of parliament. But first of all, good morning to you, Lewis.
Good morning to you. I want to first of all condemn what these police officers just did to you. Journalism is not a crime, and for you to be here after introducing yourself to these police officers and then assaulting you the way they did, everybody must condemn it. But this is not the first time we've seen journalists being attacked on the campaign trail and all that, so we must all condemn that criminality. Away from that, we are here to follow up on our people who were arrested yesterday. Some who were violently assaulted, and they are here. There are 4 women who have been able to see so far, and I'm told there are over 10 men, including 2 members of parliament, Honorable Nyeko Derrick and Honorable Mwada Kunyinji. Those I haven't been able to see, that's why I'm not yet sure of the exact number, but they've told me there are over 10. So we are here to try and see, first of all, what are the charges. Yesterday we were moving peacefully from our headquarters at Kavule, trying to go to the campaign venue. You saw, you people, the journalists, and I saw NTV News showing how the NRM candidate was moving with processions, very peacefully, no one was touching her. But NUP, every time we come out, they say you're doing processions. So you ask yourself, why is it illegal for NUP to have processions, and for NRM and all these who are allied to them, they can carry out processions and do whatever they want to do? So it's unfortunate that the security forces are being used to yet again mete out injustice on our people.
I was told yesterday some of those people who were beaten were still incarcerated here at that police station. Can you confirm how many were beaten, how many are still inside, especially for the foot soldiers?
Well, I cannot tell you the exact number. Like I said, all these people who are here were beaten. Honorable Mwada Kunyinji, I spoke to him last night and he told me they were badly beaten together with Honorable Nyeko. There's a lady called Mukisa Prose here who was violently assaulted also. There's a lady, I've just seen her, they were trying to take her fingerprints and pictures and she couldn't stand because her back is broken. They beat her so badly. And of course we have people like Tawa, our brother Tawa, who is right now in hospital because his leg was broken. So many people were beaten, legs were broken and all that. So this is the violence that we are here to condemn, but our legal team is also coming in to see how we can assist these people to get out of this situation.
As you condemn it, we know this is just almost day 3-4 of the campaigns, and we know that we still have like more than a week, and also going into the 2025-2026 campaigns. What does this spell for the rest of the time that we're heading to?
Well, it is unfortunate and it's scary, I must say, because, I mean, you've been seeing these judge people and how they are behaving. They come hooded, you can't even identify them, start beating up people. Yesterday, they actually shot 2 individuals who are in hospitals. One was shot through the thigh, another was shot through the hip, and it's very unfortunate that this is what is happening right now. Of course, I think this further shows that the regime has lost legitimacy, it has lost shame, it has lost any sense of responsibility. They now have to force people, because yesterday they saw the massive numbers that we're having. They tried to control people, they tried to beat people, even at the rally they were shooting, but people still came out in very large numbers. So that is why we are People Power believe in rallying the people, mobilizing the masses to come and support us and our cause.
You know, yesterday online there was information circulating online that one of the members of the foot soldiers, one of them died. Can you confirm that?
That's not true. That's not true. Like I said, one is in a critical condition, and indeed she was unresponsive at the time she was being taken off the scene. Another one, like I said, was shot through the hip and also got injuries on the head, and those 2 individuals were unresponsive. So that is what made people think they were dead at that time.
You know, last week I saw the Speaker of Parliament saying that she didn't even know the attack that happened at NUP. But this is a Parliament of Uganda that is supposed also to look at such issues, human rights issues. Yesterday we saw the tear gassing and blood bullets near a school, baby school, but in fact there are 2 schools there. When you see this happening in Parliament, where you would expect that huge issues of human rights should be addressed, and members of Parliament seem not to care much more about what's happening. This should be scary for any democracy-loving person.
It should be scary for every Ugandan, and this is what we keep telling Ugandans, that this kind of violence and lawlessness affects anybody and everybody. You may be there thinking that you're safe, but when these guys come shooting indiscriminately, when they come tear gassing everybody, you're not going to be spared. So that is why we call upon every Ugandan to fight for good governance. How can a Speaker of Parliament say she was not aware of what was happening? You saw the raid at our offices, the robbery, stealing our things and all that. Right now, our comrade in Ishaka Bushenyi, called Pathe, was picked up yesterday and arrested for apparently making uncomfortable comments about General Museveni and his son. So this criminality and the shrinking of the civic space affects every single Ugandan out there, and every Ugandan must get involved in this process to save our country.
As we say all this, still members of the public hasn't known who the people behind these arrests and abductions are. For example, yesterday we saw many people in uniform that seem to be military officers. But we also know that there are some other members of NUP who are still incarcerated in Chitalia, Chigo, Luzira, and everywhere. But when you see how these ones joining or being held here, does it spell, what does it say about those who are already inside these prisons, but also these who are also going to be likely to be charged and then added on to those ones who are already there?
It simply shows you that the regime does not care, that the regime does not learn. I mean, just the other day we were at the dwarf Honorable Segirinya, who died after all these things they did to him. You would expect that they learned something. But as you can see, they are going on to violate human rights. They are going to abduct our people. Now you can see JAT, which should be dealing with terrorists apparently, being unleashed on the civilian population. And you could see how they were angry with the people who are just expressing themselves and their politics. Why should these thugs, the thugs in uniform, be involved in policing? So all these are crimes against humanity, and we demand for justice. That is why our demand for accountability and justice is still on. I mean, right now, Machete, today is the 11th day since it started a hunger strike, because they have been in prison for 4 years without trial. But the regime does not care. They are not concerned about these crimes they continue to commit against our people, against the citizens of Uganda. But the solution lies in the people of Uganda rising up and saying enough is enough.
You know, when we talk still on the issues of human rights and violations that you mentioned about, we know that there's international bodies that deal with human rights. We have local bodies like Uganda Human Rights Commission. We have the courts of law. Are you, as a National Unity Platform, planning to petition these people, these organizations, as we wind up?
Yes. First of all, we are filing cases, even about the raid on our headquarters. We are filing that case. We're also filing cases about these abductions that have been going on. You saw the other day the High Court ruled that Masereka, who was our registrar in Kasese, because we filed that case and waited for over 2 years, there hasn't been judgment until the other week, when the judge clearly agreed that CMI had tortured this young man, although they gave only 30 million shillings as compensation. But because of the problems with our justice system, that is one of the reasons why we go to the ICC, we petition the African Commission on Human and People's Rights and all these international bodies to look into these issues. And I can tell you that one day there will be justice, there will be accountability for crimes against humanity.
Thank you so much, David Lewis Lubongo. I'll let you go and proceed with those issues that you are, the legal concerns, because they want to see that these people are released from prison. I can assure you that the entrance of Wandagea police station, where many of these NUP leaders are detained, there's still heavy police presence. They are trying to man and not let any more people crowd around that place. But also, I should also say I've forgiven you, the police officers who have made me look like this. You have put me down and made me look this shabby this early morning, but I'll forgive you. I know you're acting out of ignorance, but I forgive for now. I forgive you for now, you police officers. And now I'll hand you back to Chris Igenyi in the studios.
Wow, Stephen Mbide speaking to us there. A man who, of course, has a good heart, but leaves my eyes teary over his treatment, and indeed the treatment of many other journalists who, in the conduct of duty, often face so much challenges, including near death. A simple strike of a stone on your head, even if the officer didn't mean that, can end a life, and that will be it. So as humans, and as each of us goes about the conduct of duty, please let us think about the greater human cause. Love must be able to win, and maybe, just maybe, Uganda would be a better country. Okay, that brings an end to Morning at NTV. I would be remiss if I don't give you a minute or less to wrap this up, and then maybe allow that you join your colleagues at the Wandiga police station to follow up on some of the arrests and the condition of your supporters there.
If they have pounded Stephen Mbide, what do you think they will do to me if I went there? I mean, this exactly speaks about what we speak about. The high-handedness is informed with something that we must interrogate, because Stephen there, he's, first of all, to anybody living in Kampala, to anybody deployed in the city, must know certain people by level of professionalism and human intelligence. But just like what is happening to Stephen, it is what is happening to the citizenry all over the country, in whatever spaces they are, and we call upon the citizenry themselves that this is your duty, this is your job. We all can end this sheer madness of people thinking that they can die in power. Alex
Waisom Fumbiro, Deputy Spokesperson of the National Unity Platform.
People to vote for Nalukola.
Thanks for coming through on Kickstarter this morning. The campaigns will of course continue, and elections will be held as is. You, the voter, the choice is entirely yours. Whoever you see fit for that particular position, and going forward, please cast your ballot. I'm Chris Higenyi on behalf of the team behind the scenes, and indeed my colleague Priscilla Regina Naroga. Again, as I close, let's pray for our police, our security forces, and hope that restraint will be the order of the day. Have a nice day. I'll see you tomorrow.